I think it's about to hit 7:15. So I think we can definitely begin the interview portion of this stream. And for the chat, we're gonna be on the lookout for y'all's questions as the stream goes on, and we'll do our best to get to them at the end as long as we have time prior to Miyuki's DJ set. Um, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy what we all talk about today. Thank you so much for being here again. Alrighty, so question number 1. How did you come up with the name Miyuki? How did you start getting into making music? As we know, you're a multi-instrumentalist. And how did this lead into eventually making electronic music and discovering the scene?
Just really like the name Miyuki, so I picked it for myself. And I've been playing music since I was 4. My parents took me to keyboard lessons. I was like, I don't know what. Hey. Okay, sure, I'll go. Right? And I think like it was right away that I didn't know this at the time, but my parents were like from an early age, like we could tell that you had really good like ears because the teacher would play something and you could like play it right back by ear, and you just like knew exactly like you could tell like relative pitch really well. And I was like, I don't know. I'm a kid.
Fast learner.
I don't know.
Right? Just out here.
But I never liked to practice. And just playing wasn't really my priority. In middle school, I started playing the flute because we had to pick up an instrument for middle school. And, you know, like I guess the teacher must have seen something in me. She gave me a lot of opportunities, like audition for all-star band in the city. And she took me to recording studios and applied for music scholarship. And I was like, and she also like had me play solo in front of the whole school and stuff. And I had no clue I was good at music, but she saw something in me. And then
she believed in you.
Yeah, later on, that gave me the confidence, like way later in life, to pursue music. But I've always been interested in writing music more than playing music. When I was in like starting, I think grade 6, I write music for fun, like write it on staff paper or write it in really young. Like really like elementary music notation software and just really simple stuff. But it's always been a hobby. Writing music has always been a hobby. And then I got into grad school and I was like, there's no reason why I can't do this as a professional. So started doing it.
That's awesome to learn. It sounds
Were your parents
like
always been supportive?
They're like, we'll take you to music lessons and you have to go to music lessons, but you want to do it professionally? No. You don't have talent and you cannot be a starving artist for the rest of your life. So go be doctor.
Yes. You know, I relate to that, honestly. Like, it took a while for my own parents to come around. Yeah. And I think Jonah, like, pivoting there highlights another question I can't wait for you to answer later, related to, like, your upbringing and being a representative and a rising inspiration for, you know, AAPI artists and musicians. So, like, you're living testament right now that you can follow your dreams, you can live out your passions and do something that you're proud of, you know, wanting to leave a legacy and wanting to be unashamedly who you are and who you're meant to be, right?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. And I feel like that story you just shared with us, it's like ever since being 4 years old and then ever since getting, you know, encouragement from that mentor figure in middle school, right? Like playing the flute and then learning how to grow as a musician, like it sounds like you always had that at the back of your head, you know, that's something that you cared about and that's something that you love to do. And once you got to college and grad school, like you said, like it seems like that passion was just undeniable to the point where like you had to make an important decision in your life. And I'm grateful that you did decide to take that leap of faith into taking music seriously, you know, and doing it professionally, because we wouldn't have met otherwise, you know? Yeah. So that's super dope to learn. What did you do beforehand in regards to DJing and producing? Like, was it an easy switch from like, just doing, we're just writing music and then getting into DJing? Because I'm pretty sure I learned that you got into DJing in 2019, and that's how you started streaming on Twitch too, right?
Yeah, 2019 was when I started DJing. So, um, before started making electronic music, it was all on like writing music on staff paper. It was always like either just writing it down on actual paper or going into notation software like Finale or Sibelius and writing scores.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I was like, you can't. It's not enough to just like write things down. You need to be able to make it like sound good. So
Sure.
that's when I started getting into production. Started like learning first on FL Studio and then switching to Ableton very soon after that, which is a great choice. You should pick Ableton if you're thinking about it. And then I was always also like, okay, well, if I just make music, there's no opportunity for people to come across my music, so I need to perform and let that be an avenue where people can find my music. So I started DJing on Twitch, and I didn't know how to DJ. I learned how to DJ while DJing on Twitch. So all the streams at the beginning, probably pretty bad. Don't look at the old VODs.
I feel that.
So yeah.
No, I definitely relate in the sense that like when you're first starting out and your goal is just to put yourself out there, because you're starting from scratch and no one knows who you are, like you're gonna be putting out stuff that in hindsight you might cringe at, right?
Yeah.
But I was just having this conversation with So Cyber yesterday, and it's like when we look back at those moments even later down the line, we're still gonna be able to laugh and be proud of that, as much as like it's like, oh, like that was so bad back in the day, but like it still took that to get to where we are now,
Right.
And, yeah. So super dope to learn about that. And I am also on Ableton, for everyone that's tuning in.
Good.
I can't say that like it's better than FL though, because even though I've been tempted to try it out, like I don't know. I haven't tested FL myself, but I have a lot of friends that swear by the FL brand and software simply because like
Audio is not working.
It's more popular with hip hop, if I'm not mistaken about that. Audio's not working?
Oh no, it's okay. Just my headphones. But yeah, it's good now.
Okay, cool. But yeah, Propelli says become a DJ to present her music to the world. What a baller. Yes, I see that.
Yeah, the reason to start DJing was so that that's an avenue to discover the original music that I wrote. Yeah.
I feel that. So, what were you writing originally on FL and Ableton even before you started DJing?
Before I started DJing, at first, when I was writing at home, it was like video game music, video game soundtrack. I wrote like a battle theme. Right. I wrote like random Chinese song,
No way.
songs that could be like, I don't know, anime soundtrack or something like that. But it was just like whatever came to mind. But then later when I started FL Studio and Ableton, at first it was chill step. I made 2 songs in chill step, and then I discovered trance. I'm like, trance from now.
This is it. Like you found it. It just like hit home. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the missing piece of the puzzle where you're like, I know what I'm going to focus on, right?
Yeah.
So would you say like there's still a lot of influence though from like that past background of classical music, of anime and video game soundtracks?
There's definitely a lot of influence from video game soundtracks. I think that when I first started making trance, I wanted to learn what is trance about, so I'd made just like I was very conservative in my creations, and now I'm a lot more comfortable with knowing like what are trance elements. Now I'm starting to go back to my roots more, incorporating more like video game elements, orchestral. More confident to actually incorporate my influence.
Right. And I definitely feel feel that as well, especially with your River Flows and You.
Oh, thank you.
That you put out. Yeah, like I can feel how that strong music theory knowledge that you have and the traditional background you have still shines through for a hard-hitting dance and festival tune, So I think that's super dope. Yeah. Tony Rigatoni, I love your name, says this is cool, and I want to say you are cool too, my friend.
Tony's very cool.
So, yeah, I think the last question I have related to this first part is how did you even discover electronic music? Like, were you someone that went to an event first and you discovered it in a live setting, or were you already listening to dance music as you were also composing video game music, and like Chinese songs back in the day?
I played a lot of DDR.
Hell yeah, DDR.
Maybe DDR. DDR was probably what first put trance in my mind, even though I know a lot of DDR's Eurodance, Eurobeat, but there's definitely trance elements.
Right.
But after that, I listened to, Millennium, just some Millennium, and I didn't listen to too much EDM. And then I was like, I'm going to try going to a rave. So I just went to EDC. And on the trance stage, I found Gabriel and Dresden, the trance stage, and I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
Lonesome Valley.
Shout out Gabriel and Dresden. Oh my god.
They also stream on Twitch, and very cool.
Super cool. Yeah. Like, I was just talking to Logan yesterday how As the Rush Comes by Motorcycle is my all-time favorite trance track to this day. It just gives me nostalgia like no other song has recently. And the trance scene has grown so much since then. That song's like 20 years old now, which is crazy, right? But that's super dope. So this was EDC 2019, I think?
This was 2018.
Right? 18, sorry. Yeah. That's cool. I was at that one too.
Yeah.
And you were there too, right, Jonah?
I was.
Yeah. Was that the first time Dream State had done like the massive tent for EDC at the time? I'm trying to
That was not a tent. That was I remember it was square. It was all square. I really like that stage. I wish they would bring it back.
Yeah, I hope they do.
2017 was tent, Tony says.
2017 was the tent. Hell yeah, thank you for confirming.
The portal was my favorite.
Yeah, the square stage was so sick. It says Seeds Music. Hell yeah. Shout out Seeds in the chat. He's also in our audience on Discord. Seeds is Soul Food's resident house dad, for those that don't know. And he also has a YouTube channel. So if y'all want some dope video essay content, like, feel free to follow Seeds Music on YouTube. And thank you so much for everything you do, Seeds. And congratulations to your family and your brother again for the wedding celebrations this past weekend. Yeah. And shout out Pachuco in the chat as well. I see you, my friend. But yeah, moving a bit forward now, I'm going to pass the mic to Logan, who is ready to ask you another question, Miyuki.
Yeah, so actually, before I ask this question that I have for you, I'm curious. You said that you could like play stuff back as a kid. So do you have like perfect pitch or something like that?
I don't have perfect pitch because I have good relative pitch, but I don't have perfect pitch. So if you played something, I could play it back. It might be just transposed like down a semitone or something. And
that's cool though.
I don't think I'm very good with keys that have a lot of like sharps and flats. So I tend to just transpose it to something simpler.
Hey man, I always write an A minor.
You should be ashamed of yourself. You need more practice in other keys.
Okay, so the question that I wanted to ask you was in trance music specifically, like who has been your biggest inspirations as far as like artists, labels, specific tracks? Yeah.
Billion Rockenbach. So you can play by a year. Yes. My biggest inspirations in trance. John O'Callaghan.
Good choice.
Yeah. John O'Callaghan, Giuseppe, Brian Kearney, the big three. My favorite trance song of all time is actually "All Over Again" by Brian Kearney.
Yeah, Brian Kearney. Like, a few years ago, he was really formative for just kind of me developing my own taste in trance. John O'Callaghan as well.
Yeah, I think it was right after EDC 2018 that I heard All Over Again for the first time, and I was like, this is it. This is the best song I've ever heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's also got a lot of tracks that just, I don't know why, like him and like Key 4050, they just sound so much better live. Like you can't really judge how good his music is until you hear it live.
You know what? I completely agree. Key 4050. If you listen to Spotify and you're like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
you go
exactly.
to the venue and you realize that all of the tracks that they wrote are designed for the stage.
Exactly.
And with like the lighting and everything, with like how the acoustics are set up for the live setting, it's so good. And I've actually taken like inspiration from Key 4050 in my track The Horseman. I think that's also a song that you just listen to on Spotify, you're like, but if you go live, that's where the magic really happens.
Exactly.
Yep, definitely. Cool. Well, I'll pass it on to Jonah now for the next question.
Yeah, for the chat that doesn't know, like I was also one of Miyuki's stream followers, and how I found her was through her flute performance. I thought that was like a super cool idea. So like how did that happen? Like do you think you're gonna add more live components into your future performances? Is that something that interests you?
Yeah. Can I ask which flute performance you saw, or was it just
I
like in
think
general? on Twitch?
it was I think it was Juhua Tai.
Yes. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it was like I was just shocked. I was like, oh, you know Chinese songs, and obviously I was like, oh, that I relate to that. And I also
Yeah.
played the flute back in middle school.
Nice. Yeah.
So I thought it was super cool. Like, do you think you're gonna add? How many instruments do you play, by the way?
I play keyboard slash piano. Not very good at it. I play the flute. I play Chinese wuzhong, which is a zither. I play Chinese bamboo flute. Yeah. And I definitely do love the live performance aspect. I wanted to, and I tried to play flute live at my first few shows, but there was just so much mic feedback. I couldn't get it set up correctly. So I would still love to play flute live. I think it's just I need like really specific setup. I need to figure it out. I
I
also
don't think I've ever seen anyone done that. So
yeah.
that would be something really cool.
Yeah, I would love to have it set up. And also, I got a electronic wind instrument, and I was like, if I do that, I don't have to worry about mic feedback. But I haven't really practiced, and that one, I think it takes a lot of practice.
And I saw
But
in the chat they said zither rave, and I was just thinking about that. Like, what if you add some, Chinese instrument components into trance? I think that would be,
yeah, I would love that. Actually, in some of my songs, this is not a trance song, but this is my remix of Face the Fears from Kingdom Hearts, and that had
Right.
yeah, that had like the zither and had I think also some bamboo flute and some erhu in that song. So I do
I
love
love
to
this
incorporate. Yeah, thank you so
You were
much.
just listening. to
Yeah,
that.
I was like, damn, she makes a lot of dubstep too. Like what? Yeah, and I love Skrillex. He's like one of my all-time favorites. Yes, go ahead, Joe.
Sorry. So you in your bio you said you describe your music as fiercely emotional. I love the word choices. Obviously, fiercely emotional. Like, what is it about
Thank
the
you.
melodies and like these hard-hitting texts, like these sound that you love the most?
Sorry, what's the question?
What is
Oh.
it about like these melodies that that what hits you, right? Like, is it the hard-hitting text? Is it the melodies? Like, describe your music a little bit more. Like, what's fiercely emotional? I love the word choices, but it's so grand.
Right, it's as a person, I've come through this developmental process where I spent many years being like, ugh, am I such an emo? Why do I cry so easily? Why do I cry so much? I'm so stupid. And then as I grew and matured, I was like, maybe that's just me, and I have to accept that part of myself. I'm gonna express that part of myself through music. So I think it definitely when I try to write melodies, it has to feel right, and I just don't know how to describe it other than that it has to feel right and align with what's really in my heart. And it's just a process of being unashamedly myself and unashamedly writing a melody that tells the true story of my heart. And that fierceness just comes from the unapologetic expression of how I really feel. And I think that because I just feel emotions so intensely, the music needs to be high energy. It can't be mellow. So it has to be not only like very emotional, but also very fast and driving and high frequencies. And that way I feel like you can really experience the kind of like storm that's brewing inside of me.
I love the word. Yeah, I love the word choices that you use to describe music, like people in the chat have said. So I know you've also been a raver, and like as somebody that loves melody so much, I can remember times that, you know, I'm at these festivals and I'm just hearing the melody play out. I'm looking and, you know, and everything just going on in my head. So for you, was there like a live event moment, you know, as a fan, or maybe even as a performer, that like you have that, wow, the melody is really hitting me right now? Do you have those moments before?
Yeah, I actually remember this very vividly. At Dream State, I think it was 2019, Dream State 2019. I went to Dream State. I walked into the uplifting stage, the Vision stage, which I'm going to be playing at Dream State this year. But anyway, walked into the Vision stage. I see all these lasers immediately, and the music that's playing is Factor B, B2B, Craig Connolly. And that moment when I walked in was surrounded by the lasers and the music. I just started bawling my eyes out. And I couldn't believe it, this mixture of the beautiful lights and the emotional music and the uplift. I was like, life is beautiful. It's in these moments I truly can see the extent of how beautiful life is. And I'm just so happy to be alive and so happy to be able to experience all these things and all these emotions. And that was also when I started to be like, you know what, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay that I'm such an emotional person.
And you look around you and everyone is so accepting too.
Yeah, and because I'm so emotional that I get to experience all these heights, you know?
Mm-hmm. Are you excited to be able to see that same stage, but like from a different perspective this time?
Definitely, but also Dream State is changing venues this time, so it's not going to be the same geographical location, but I hope the sentiment will come full circle.
Oh yeah, I will be there for the chat. If you see us, we're going to be frontline Miyuki at Dream State.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm going to pass the baton to Christian.
Thank you, Jonah and Miyuki. Yeah, so I am just going to piggyback and say congratulations on your debut, Dream State. That's so epic, and the sky's the limit for you as far as I can see. Yeah, of course. So moving forward to question number 5. Kind of already touched based on this, talking about your Dream State experiences and who you've seen live. But I guess more specifically, do you have one specific memory that just strikes out to you as like, oh my God, like this is life being its most beautiful form to me, right? Like, is there like a vivid memory that you have, or even as a performer, ever since experiencing that?
It's
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one. But also, I remember this when I was on stage at my first headlining show in LA, where all of us in Twitch came together to the same place for the very first time. I remember because it was my first headlining performance and I have not played live that many times before, I was really nervous. So I was like, gotta execute, everything gotta be right. But at the same time, I'm like, taking the moment.
Right.
You're playing a live show for all these people that came for you. So you have to take in the moment and you have to remember this. So I remember being up there being like, hey, they all came to see me. I'm playing my own song that I wrote and made and everything. This is amazing. And not only that, but everybody here, they started out as strangers and now they're friends. They're a community. So
Right.
I'll never forget that first LA show. I think that was a really significant moment for all of us. That.
Right.
Speaking of LA show, you guys make sure that you come out to the next LA show October 14 with Soul Foods, and they're offering us a 20% exclusive discount. Type !show and use code Miyuki20.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for the plug, Miyuki, as always. Very, very dope that we get to co-create communities like this, and it really does mean the world that we're pushing each other to continue to shine light and to just be great supporters of one another, you know? So moving rapidly along, I love how we're like timing off into different directions with our conversations. It's feeling very natural. And I do want to make sure we stay on time though, as you are performing for us very soon. So moving along, how has it been like moving from LA to Chicago, and how would you compare and contrast the respective scenes and cultures?
You know, I've only lived in LA for like 2.5 years, and Chicago I've only been here. It feels like well, LA definitely has the bigger music scene, and it always does, but Chicago does seem like it's very tight knit community. So yeah, I think quick answer.
Yeah, of course. So do you have like a dream home destination, you know, or like do you consider another place home since you've only lived in Los Angeles and Chicago for a short amount of time?
I don't know yet. I don't think that I've visited enough places in the world, even though I have moved so much. But for my dream home, I envision somewhere near a waterfall, like a waterfall in my backyard, or the
Ooh.
beach or something. I don't know.
Waterfall.
Maybe eventually.
Yes, hopefully. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed for that. I do love water as well. It is a goated element.
Yeah.
And I actually never thought of having a waterfall like right next to where I live, but that sounds magical. I've always just dreamed of the beach, like you said. But yeah, okay, cool. Moving right along. What does it mean for you to be a rising leader in empowering femme artists and AAPI artists and musicians? And what would you love to see from the music industry and the dance scene as well as we continue to shape history together?
Um, you know, I don't really think of myself as a female artist. I just think of myself as an artist, and
I feel that.
yeah, I think that from an AAPI point of view, I think that a lot of us have kind of similar upbringings, and where we are encouraged along certain paths of be doctor, engineer, lawyer, and I hope that by me deviating from that, well, having gone through grad school and graduating, and deviating from that to do something that is really unconventional, I hope that a lot of people can resonate with it, maybe find some inspiration and see that it can be done, and maybe it could encourage them to explore their passions as well.
yeah, that it's okay to take risks, especially
Yeah.
if passion is speaking through you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's wonderful at the end of the day, like we need to be encouraging when there's a lot of unknown and there's a lot of unpredictability at the end of the day, right? But in your heart, sometimes you can follow it and it'll take you to where you need to go and really be who you're meant to be, as we said earlier. And as an AAPI artist myself, I can definitely say you're a shining beacon of hope in that regard.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you're
And
definitely inspiring us.
I think
Yeah.
that you said that so well, that it is about uncertainty of, like maybe our culture, we come up from a place of not enough. So, we are encouraged to take a certain road, a known road, but then maybe by doing what I do, it shows people that, okay, well, it's okay to go into the unknown a little bit and explore. Maybe it's not as dangerous as we were taught to believe, or maybe it could
Right.
be. But you can always come back. You can always come back to the known, I think.
Yes, I agree, and yeah, like I'm getting goosebumps as we talk about this right now because there's a lot of wisdom in sacrifice, and being a supporter or a caretaker and finding the easiest way to get there, right? Because becoming an artist, becoming a musician, becoming a creative, it's not necessarily the easiest path. But for us, I'm sure we can all relate that it's fun. And as OMG Shadow says in the chat, life is full of regret. So minimizing that as much as possible and doing what you love is how we don't have regrets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love your answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm going to pass it back to Logan for our next question related to more music production and music performing.
Yeah, so just referring to like trance specifically, who is someone that you would really love to go back to back with? Someone that you'd love to collab with on a track? And an artist or maybe a specific track that you'd really love to remix?
I want to collab with Giuseppe Ottaviani, of course. It's a long time dream. I want to go back to back with Giuseppe Ottaviani.
Oh wow!
But I also think it might be fun to go back to back with Armin. I know dreams, right? I think
Yeah.
it might be fun to go back to back
Yeah, you never know.
with hard trance artists. Or hard dance, hard techno, hard style, anything on the harder side. I think it would be fun.
Okay.
Oh, it would be so fun to go back with Scott Project. That would be really fun. And a track I would love to remix. That's a hard one. I mean, there's lots of tracks I want to remix. I just can't remember any of them off the top of my head. I want to remix Down the River, Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh yes, yes, I love that answer. I actually just finished playing through that.
Okay, no spoilers. I just started, so no
worry,
spoilers.
Just know
No
that
spoilers,
oh man,
chat.
it is worth it. Finish the game. It
Yes,
is
I wanna
incredible.
remix that song. Remix some Near Automata songs. I was actually gonna sing a cover because I've been taking singing lessons. It's just
Oh,
a
wow.
hobby, so don't expect anything. It's gonna suck, but I want to have fun. I want to remix some Elenium and Seven Lions songs into trance or something. I actually wanted to do "Take Me Down" by Elenium a long time ago, but never ended up
Someone
finishing
in the
it.
chat called it.
Jonah did call it. For those that don't know,
Chat called
Jonah
it.
has a remix. Yeah, he has an Elenium and Slander and Cruella remix.
Nice.
It's a trance version of Lay It Down.
I would love to hear that.
Someone
You
in
should
the
send it to me.
chat.
Yeah.
I will. Someone in the chat says they can see you working with Davin or Nurko.
I would
I
love
can
to.
definitely see
I
that.
would love that. I want to work with Haylene.
Yeah.
Vocalist
shout out
side.
Aileen. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of the melodic dubstep artists, the
Yeah.
singers. Yeah.
I have to ask you. You clearly love Giuseppe a lot. Have you considered, or are you in the works of maybe trying to put together some sort of live performance like he does? Is that something that maybe we could see in the future?
Yeah, I would love to. I think that like the way that he does it, okay, to be honest, Giuseppe is Giuseppe and no one can replicate what he does. But also I envisioned something a bit more different. Like I was thinking more like acoustic instruments. Like I could do electric zither if I could ever find one. Or if I can get the flute working, that would be really great. But I also thought that it would be really cool to have an audio visual element to a live performance. So like I could play live instruments, but I also want to do some sort of light show or dance on stage. I know that like DJs don't do that, but
Right.
I would really like to do that without looking unprofessional.
You know,
So like choreography.
it'd be really cool because I have one of the most vivid dream state memories I have. I forget which one it was, but it was several years ago at this point, and there was some psytrance DJ. I feel terrible. I don't even remember his name, but he was like playing electric guitar, and I thought it was one of the coolest things that I've ever seen. So if you could incorporate like some other kind of traditional instrument like that, I think it'd be really awesome.
Was it Infected Mushroom?
I don't think so, actually. Yeah. I wish I could tell you, but it was years ago and I don't quite remember. But yeah, really cool experience.
Sounds captivating. Yeah.
So moving along, actually there's no one to take this question, so I'll just take this one as well. This one's more of a fun one. We're gonna do 2 truths and a lie, and then all the hosts will try to guess which one the lie is, and then we'll let chat try and guess as well. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, this is gonna be a hard one. Putting me on the spot. Okay, 2 and a lie.
Dun dun dun.
My favorite food is sushi. I have gone skydiving before, and I am afraid of heights. The truth and the lie.
I'm gonna say you're not afraid of heights.
I'm thinking. Celsius says I expected pizza.
Miyuki looks like somebody that would be down for skydiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been talking about risk taking, right? We've been talking about following your dreams and shooting for the sky. So skydiving sounds accurate to me too. I think my guess is going to be sushi also. I think you have another favorite food besides sushi.
All right, who still has to guess?
I think Jonah hasn't
Because
guessed.
me,
Right?
I'm only gonna guess sushi too because I don't think you're afraid of anything at this point. You were a PhD and now you're international DJ. Hey, like, what's stopping? What's there to stop you?
Okay, I'm actually scared of a lot of things. I'm scared of small bugs. I'm scared of moths.
Oh, I felt that.
But you guys are too good at this. Sushi is not my favorite food. I don't like raw fish all that much. So that means I did go skydiving, and I'm afraid of heights. And the reason why I went skydiving is because I'm afraid of heights.
I feel that.
Try to like, exposure therapy to the max, but it didn't work. I'm even more scared of heights now. So.
Never again.
You just need confirmation bias. That's what exposure therapy could work with, right?
Yeah. That said, though, I would still go skydiving.
Same. I love roller coasters.
Okay, respect.
And I used to be so afraid of heights too. But like as time went on, I was like, you know what? This is hella fun. I just don't like waiting in lines anymore because so many people love roller coasters too. But yeah. Jonah says, let me face my fears in the chat. Okay, I see you, bro. You're being punny. And then Propelli says, skydiving opposite direction of shooting for the sky, sadly. And that's right, you're shooting for the ground at that point. I'm dumb for saying that. Okay. Awesome. Thank you for taking those 2 questions for us, Logan. And we have a few more as we wrap up here and we get ready for Miyuki's performance for everyone. Question number 10 officially. What are your favorite video games and anime? We know you mentioned DDR earlier. I feel Studio Ghibli inspiration in a lot of your work, so is that up there too? But let us know.
I don't think I've seen a single Studio Ghibli.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You just capture that vibe though. But it's okay. Don't be ashamed, Miyuki.
I'm ashamed.
I started Howl's Moving Castle like a month or 2 ago. I got like 15 minutes in because I was making ramen at the same time. And I was watching it in Japanese, and I have to read my subtitles. And I kept rewinding to the back. And I was just like, damn, I finished my ramen now too. And I wanted to like enjoy the whole movie with this. So I'm still delayed on watching my first Studio Ghibli film also.
Yeah, thank you for admitting that.
Yeah.
I don't watch that much anime. But some of my favorites were Steins Gate.
Ooh.
My favorite manga was Gantz. I liked Terraformars, but that one got too political towards the end. So, yeah, I think I also liked Brave New World. I read the manga for that one. Oh no, I watched the anime for that one.
Nice. I haven't seen
Yeah.
any of those actually, so I'll have to be put onto those at a later time. But I'm glad we are archiving this VOD.
I was
So,
so into Yu-Gi-Oh
research.
when I was a kid. I thought I was the king of games.
Yu-Gi-Moto. You can summon Exodia and Blue
I
Eyes
thought I
Ultimate
could.
Dragon.
I walked around. This is why nobody liked me in middle school. I walked around saying obliterate to everyone. It was, yeah.
It's like, is she threatening me? Like, what is she doing? Yu-Gi-Oh is classic too, though. Like, I was a huge Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon fan growing up as well, and yeah, like pocket monsters and card monsters. That's what's up. Something to be proud of.
Yeah, I think I like video games a lot more than like watching stuff. So, play a lot of Final Fantasy. So that's where I think a lot of my music inspirations come from. It's Final Fantasy,
I feel that now.
Nobuo,
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger, one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
Nier Automata, one of my recent favorites. I like Cyberpunk.
Me too.
Yeah, and Cyberpunk just, the
Phantom
DLC
Liberty?
just came out, so I
Yeah,
started a new
Mansion.
playthrough. Jambalaya, we did read that book in school, but I'm talking about the anime that goes by the same name. Did read Brave New World in school.
I remember that book too, actually.
Yeah.
Good book.
Yeah, so Cyberpunk, started Baldur's Gate. I've been playing Lies of P, which is like a Souls-like game. And I've never played Dark Souls, never played Bloodborne, so I'm pretty bad at that. And it makes me
Everyone is,
mauled.
right?
Aren't we all? Yeah.
It makes you rage.
Yeah.
I feel that. I love that you talked about Cyberpunk because I actually did a reverse Uno with this series. I got into the anime on Netflix first before I even started playing the games. Yeah, but I'm so obsessed with that world. I feel like the flyer that we have with Sector 138 that Jonah led design.
I feel that, yeah.
Very
Yeah.
Sacramento fun,
It
so
was
that's
an
really
inspiration for sure. Yep.
Cool. Hell yeah. And
Speaking
I
of
just
mauled,
yeah.
played a lot of League of Legends.
Oh
But
no.
I uninstalled like a year ago, and I never looked back.
That's how
Good.
you're
No more.
protecting your
Damn.
mental health. Yeah.
Damn.
League to this day is one of the most toxic games I've ever played.
Yep.
It's still one of the most fun ones I've ever played. Countless memories, just battling and competing, and that's what I still love about League at the end of the day. I can
Yeah.
definitely see your music being featured in like Riot Games stuff in the future.
Oh, I would love that. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't play
Yeah.
League to win. I played League to make other people mad. So the goal was just to go in and try to rile people up. But yeah,
Just
I'm
to
done with that
troll
life.
I feel that.
Disrespect.
Final Fantasy is goated too. Like, I just started my first Final Fantasy. I kind of went, again, backwards from everyone else because while the Final Fantasy 16 hype was like all over the place this past year, I was like, I'm gonna play 13 for the first time because I never played those back in the 360.
Oh, you played 13 for your first one?
Yeah, I'm like halfway through right now, and I love Lightning. Like Lightning is like a huge inspiration to me as someone that we've talked about, like, you know, being secretly emotional on the inside, but she's trying to be a badass on the outside, and like accepting all parts of ourselves, like you said earlier. I think Final Fantasy 13 is a great reflection. And
Yeah,
a great
13. I had fun in 13. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I liked it. I think the story is very cool. You should play Final Fantasy 13 too. I think 13-2 is my favorite out of the trilogy. And if you like action, then you like just like more like hack and slash, and 13-3 Lightning Returns. It's not my favorite, but you would probably like it.
Hell yeah. I'm excited to play the entire 13 trilogy.
Yeah.
Because I used to be obsessed with like the whole Versus 13 lore until that got canceled and became, 15. But I hear there's hope that original vision for Versus 13 is still alive somehow. So I guess we'll just have to stay tuned. Cool. So final questions, and we'll wrap it up as it reaches 8 p.m. Central Time here. Logan.
We have a very important question.
So yeah, I have probably the most important question you're gonna hear.
Chat.
So everyone in chat and Miyuki, just really pay attention here. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
I think it was a year or 2 years ago we did a subathon on stream.
Yeah.
And one of the tier rewards was that when we reach it, chat can decide what to put on my pizza. And they had this great opportunity to totally troll me and make the most disgusting pizza ever.
Yeah, what do you expect?
But they didn't. It was a
They
missed
didn't?
opportunity. They didn't. They ordered
Oh, really?
pepperoni and pineapple, and that was my first time trying pineapple and pizza, and I was like, it's a good combination. And after that, I was convinced that pineapple does belong on pizza.
So you are a pineapple.
There you have
player.
it. Yo, you know what? Shout out chat for giving you a delicious meal and not ruining
Yeah, I'm
pineapple on
surprised.
pizza.
Yeah, I'm surprised
imagine if
you guys didn't troll me.
Yeah. Imagine it just made you a pizza with pineapple and then it made you mauled, and like this would be a completely different conversation.
Yeah, and then like a couple of weeks ago, for some reason, I decided that we were all gonna try chocolate on pizza. So a few people in chat, we ordered pizza, and then we all, either put chocolate sauce or melted chocolate on pizza and tried it. And a few people, think they had nausea or something, but I liked it. I thought that it tasted like chocolate, just with pizza textures.
Right, like a pastry in a way, right?
But it was like pepperoni and mushroom pizza with a piece of chocolate on top. But it was good.
Interesting.
A few people in chat got sick.
They were like, what is she doing? Hell yeah. Okay,
right.
well, looks like we've got
one more from Jonah.
Two more
right?
from Jonah.
And
Two more from Jonah.
The first one is just as important as the last question we asked. So go ahead, Jonah.
Yes.
So, now we're wrapping up. I also want to
Number
find
12,
out,
yeah.
Miyuki, what is your go-to boba order?
Go-to boba order. I have two. If I wanted fruity, I would go mango green tea with mango pearls. And if I wanted a more sweet one, I go for jasmine or oolong milk tea with brown sugar pearls.
You have to also let us know
Yes.
your sugar level and your ice level.
Oh, are you
What's
getting
the
one for
sugar
me?
level?
Oh, yes, please.
I didn't know those were.
Regular ice and 50 or 70% sugar, depends on how sweet the place normally go.
Frantically takes note, so we're ready on October 14th for.
For the
You're gonna
writer,
pick a
yeah.
boba order. Exactly. And last but not least, we know you're playing at Dream State, but is there any other exciting news that you would like to share with your community and ours as well?
Yes, so guys, make sure you come out to the LA show on October 14 with Soul Foods, and they have offered us a very exclusive discount with code Miyuki20. This is a limited time discount. Make sure you type !show to get your tickets. And it's going to be a great night with Chris Schweizer and Jordan Suckley and a whole other techno stage for the event. And other than that, I'm excited to see you guys at Dream State for the very first time. Gonna be playing on Friday, November 17, and I have 3 new songs that I haven't played anywhere. Share with you guys. So
Let's
get your
go.
dream,
Hint.
get your
Hint,
Dream
hint.
State tickets! !DS. You guys do.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for hosting us, and thank you Twitch chat for having us. DJ Miyuki, it's been a pleasure. I'm Asan, joined by Driver and Zona. On behalf of Soul Food, sending all of y'all much love, and we hope to see you on October 14th. If not, we'll see you in the chat. Take care,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
That
guys.
was Soul Foods Collective in LA, everybody. Thank you so much for having
Thank you,
me.
Miyuki.
All right. Are you guys gonna? Should I stay in this voice chat or should I leave?
No, you
we
can leave.
Close the
I'm
stage
leaving
down
your
now,
chat.
and we'll
Okay.
we'll completely focus to your performance being on Twitch. But
Okay.
yes, we'll close down this stage. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We'll chat soon,
Thanks.
Miyuki. If you need anything, feel free to let us know, of course.
Yeah. That was a great interview. You guys. I really appreciate you for having me. I think you brought up some really good points, and I'm glad that we have had the chance to have this discussion. Thank you.
Likewise.
Yeah, likewise.
Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you.
Peace, everyone.
Bye bye.